Welcome back, ladies and gents. Sit down, get comfortable, because today we need to talk about something that I think genuinely doesn't get enough attention for how absolutely unhinged it is. Facebook Marketplace, the digital flea market where you can buy a couch, a PS5, a car, and potentially get murdered all in the same afternoon. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's the crazy part. I wish I was being dramatic for the sake of the video, but no, people have literally died over a used iPhone. We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's talk about the experience of Facebook Marketplace, because I think everybody has at least one story. You go on there looking for a deal, right? That's the whole appeal of this thing. You're like, oh, I don't need to pay full price for a dining table. Some guy named Randy 3 miles away has one for 40 bucks. Beautiful. You message Randy, and Randy takes 4 days to respond. Randy hits you with the, hey man, it's still available, and then ghosts you for another 2 days. Then Randy wants to meet at a location that Google Maps doesn't even recognize. It's just a pin in the middle of what appears to be an abandoned parking lot behind a tire shop. And you're sitting there like, do I really need this table that bad? The answer is always yes, because you're already emotionally invested. You've already told your girlfriend, your mom, all about the table. There's no going back now. And that's the thing about Marketplace. It conditions you to ignore every red flag your brain is throwing at you. The listing has one photo and it's blurry, whatever. The price is suspiciously low, he's probably just motivated to sell it. They want to meet at 10 p.m. in a Walmart parking lot with no cameras? I mean, it's a public place, technically. You just keep rationalizing it until you're standing in the dark holding $500 in cash waiting for a stranger. Sounds like the opening scene of a true crime podcast if you ask me. Let's start with the lighter side of this kerfuffle, because there's a spectrum here and it goes from funny to genuinely horrifying. On the funny end, you've got the classic bait and switch. Someone posts a picture of a perfectly good laptop, clean screen, no scratches, looks brand new in the photo. You show up and this thing looks like it survived a house fire. The screen's got a crack running through it like the San Andreas fault, half the keys are missing, and the seller just stands there like, yep, that's the one. As you're looking at them like, brother, this is not the same device. This is not even the same decade of technology, but they'll hit you with the, well, it works fine though, as if functionality excuses the fact that this thing looks like it was run over by a truck. I saw a post one time where someone bought a quote, brand new Xbox off Marketplace, and when they opened the box at home, it was literally filled with rocks. Rocks, the exact weight of an Xbox. Someone calculated the weight of an Xbox, went outside, gathered the appropriate amount of rocks, and sealed that puppy up. That's some great engineering if you ask me. That's dedication to the craft. Evil, but very impressive. You almost gotta respect it. Almost. Nah, you don't actually. That person sucks. Then you've got the meetup locations. This is where things start sliding from funny into uncomfortable. There's an unspoken rule that you should meet in a public, well-lit area. Police station parking lots are actually a thing now. A lot of departments have designated spots specifically for online transactions because the problem got so bad they had to intervene. Think about that for a second. Law enforcement had to create safe zones because buying a used bicycle became a life-threatening activity. We have officially reached a point where buying a used bike has the same risk profile as a drug deal. But not everyone uses the safe zones because obviously some people are either too trusting or they just don't think enough about it. And I get it. You've done 50 transactions and nothing bad happened, so you get comfortable. You start meeting people at their house. You start going alone. You stop telling anyone where you're going. And for most people, nothing ever happens. But for the ones where something does happen, it happens fast and it happens bad. In 2022, there was a case in Abington, Pennsylvania, where a guy listed an iPhone on Marketplace for like 700 bucks. A buyer reaches out and they set up a meetup. The buyer shows up and it's not a sale. It's a stick up, dude. He pulls out a weapon and demands the phone and the money over an iPhone, $700. That guy was willing to potentially ruin your entire life, go to prison, and also traumatize another human being over $700. I can't wrap my head around it. I genuinely can't compute how someone arrives at that decision. Like at some point in your day, you woke up, brushed your teeth, hopefully, looked in the mirror and said, today, I'm going to rob someone over a cell phone. That was the big plan. That was the smartest move he could think of. And that's not even an isolated incident. That's the scary part. You start looking into this whole thing and it's everywhere. And city after city after city, there are reports of people getting robbed during marketplace transactions. Some of them are targeted because the seller posts a high value item and the buyer knows they're going to be carrying cash. It's like advertising that you'll be in a vulnerable position with money on you at a specific time and place. When you think about it like that, it's kind of insane that it works as well as it does most of the time. But we gotta get into the dark meat of this, because this is where the video earns its title. In 2023, Tan Lam, a 71-year-old woman in Prescott Valley, Arizona, was selling jewelry on Facebook Marketplace. A buyer reached out and arranged to come to her home to see the pieces. But instead of a sale, the situation turned into a nightmare. She was killed during what turned into a robbery, 71 years old, selling jewelry. And I don't even know what to say about this, honestly. There's no joke there. There's nothing funny about that, actually. Just a woman who was trying to sell some stuff online, and it cost her everything. And the person who did it threw away their entire future over whatever that jewelry was worth. Everyone loses. There was another case out of Cobb County, Georgia, in 2024, where a young man was shot and killed during a marketplace meetup over a gaming console. A gaming console. I keep going back to the items involved because the disconnect between what's being sold and what's happening is so massive. We're not talking about briefcases full of cash or drug deals. We're talking about PlayStations and iPhones and like used furniture and stuff. Everyday items, things you can buy at Target, and people are dying over it. And look, I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, because the reality is millions of transactions happen on Marketplace every single day, and the vast majority of them are totally fine. You show up, you buy the thing you're looking for, and you just go home. Deal done. But the ones that aren't fine are so catastrophically not fine that it actually deserves this conversation, because I think a lot of people, especially younger people, just don't think about the risk. You've grown up buying and selling stuff online. Craigslist, anyone? So it feels normal. It feels safe. And digitally, it mostly is. But the second you add an in-person meetup with a stranger into the equation, you've introduced a variable that you cannot control. You don't know who this person is. You don't know their intentions. You don't know if that profile picture is even them. You're working with zero information about someone you're about to be alone with. And here's what kills me. Facebook as a platform does basically the absolute bare minimum to protect people in these situations. There's no verification system worth a damn. There's no built-in safety features for meetups. There's no required ID check. Nothing. Nada. It's just, hey, here's a place where strangers can meet, arrange to meet each other in person, and exchange money. Good luck, see ya, fudging later, figure it out. And when something goes wrong, it becomes a local news story for 2 days, and then everyone forgets about it until the next one, which will come, because it always does. So what do you actually do? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I have all the answers, because I really don't, but at least do the obvious stuff. Meet in public places like a police station. Bring someone with you. Tell a friend or family member where you're going and who you're meeting. Be sure to meet while the sun is up. Don't carry more cash than necessary. And if something feels a little bit off, just leave. The deal is not worth it. No couch, no phone, no gaming console is worth putting yourself in danger. And I know that sounds like your mom talking, and maybe it is, but your mom's right on this one, buddy. The whole thing is just a weird microcosm of the internet age, where convenience and danger exist in the same space. You can find an incredible deal and a genuinely dangerous situation in the same scroll session, and the line between the two is sometimes invisible until you're already past it. Be smart out there, use some common sense, and maybe don't meet Randy at the abandoned tire shop at 10 p.m. Just a thought. That's all I got for you. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you in the next one.